What is up? This is Zombie Talk 123 here today, a special segment of the St. Louis Cardinals top 15 prospects. We'll look at the most disappointing prospect and the best prospect left off the list. This man right here, Shelby Miller, has been the #1 prospect for the last 2 years. Will he stay on top of the list after struggling near in AAA? Let's find out right now. Now, I am including the draft picks from last year, and I went with the risky pick here at number 15. Carson Kelly, he almost hit 400 last year, signed for the most above slot bonus of all time. But this is a usual pick for a guy like a Ryan Jackson or a Michael Clayton. I went with the risky pick here, right out of high school. Carson Kelly, number 15. At number 14, we go with number 41, Michael Clayton. He's now in AAA right now, has appeared sometimes in the major leagues. He's a relief pitcher acquired for Brendan Ryan, a pretty good acquisition there. Has high ceiling, upper 90 stuff, but has not been able to control it in his time in the major leagues when he's been up there. Number 14, Michael Clayton. Now at number 13 here, we are counting down the prospects to see who is number 1. Will it be Shelby Miller or will it be a newcomer? But anyway, here is Stephen Piscotty, another kind of risky pick, a supplementary round draft pick. Could have gone in the first round. Has a very polished bat, one of the most pure hitters in the whole draft for college hitters-wise. And the Cardinals got him at 36, a very good pick for the Cardinals, third baseman, and we'll head to the Quad Cities at number 13. My next pick here at number 12, ranking the top prospects of the St. Louis Cardinals, straight out of New Trier last year, was drafted in the second round of the MLB draft. Charlie Tilson, an outfielder. His comparison is to Jacoby Ellsbury. If he develops with the speed and possibly the power that he could potentially have, he could be a huge force to reckon with in the leadoff spot for the Cardinals in the future. A lot of athleticism, high upside guy. In my opinion, Michael Walker is a pretty safe pick for the number 11 overall prospect for the St. Louis Cardinals, just like he was a safe pick in this year's draft for the Cardinals. Their first overall draft pick this year, has lower 90s stuff compared to John Garland, and could project to be a number 3 starter, maybe even better. He was projected to go earlier in the draft, but the high upside bats pushed him later. The Cardinals were very lucky to get him 19 and is already signed. At number 10, I have Matt Carpenter. Now, this is a guy who earlier in this year went on a tear. Third base, not going to get a starting job because he's blocked in the organization. Could see some time at first. He already has 20 RBIs this season in only 100 at-bats or so. He hit the disabled list and now is back. Hopefully he can go on a tear again and help the Cardinals. Not a high upside guy, and he's already 26. At number 9, I have Joe Kelly. He has great secondary stuff, a very good sinking fastball, gets a lot of ground balls. He was brought up as a reliever, but has actually spot started for Jaime Garcia's spot in the rotation since he's been hurt. If you would think someone from Memphis would spot start, it would be Shelby Miller. But no, it's been Joe Kelly, and he's done a great job keeping his ERA under 3 at 2 spot starts. At number 8, I have Zach Cox. Now, he was the best college hitter in the 2010 draft class and was drafted in the first round by the Cardinals. He was a number 3, 4, 5 prospect for many years, but now he is dropped maybe even out of the top 10 because of a very struggling year at AAA. He was hitting under 200. I see he's up above it, almost batting 220. He's shown some power in the past. He batted over 300 last year in Springfield. It's taken him a lot of time to adjust. The question is, where will he play? I see him being traded by the Cardinals this year, though. Now at number 7, I have a guy who should probably be at number 4, number 5. This guy on a lot of lists is that high. I've bumped him back a little bit because of a struggling year. I don't think it will be a problem with him long term, though. He has struggled pretty mightily this year in Class A with an ERA about 4.7. He's hurt now. Hopefully he can come back healthy. This guy's amazing athleticism, throws mid-90s. He had so much momentum coming out of spring training. I hope the best for him. Tyrell Jenkins. We are getting so close to finding out the top 5 prospects for the St. Louis Cardinals this year. But at number 6, we have Trevor Rosenthal. This guy has climbed the ladder of prospect lists for the last year and a half now. He's a very big sleeper candidate last year, had a great year in the Quad Cities, and now at Springfield is being an ace for that team. His ERA just above 3, 3.03, and has almost as many strikeouts as innings. Him, Tavares, and Wong are the big prospects coming out of Springfield and should be with the Cardinals very shortly. Trevor Rosenthal at number 6. We are now at number 5 for the St. Louis Cardinals top prospects here. There's going to be some surprise picks coming up, so just hold on. At number 5, I think I might have surprised you guys a little already with Matt Adams. This is a guy who's usually at number 8 or 9. He's not really regarded for his athleticism just because he's so big, but he's hit so well at every level in the minor leagues. the organization cannot ignore him. I mean, in Double-A, he hit 32 home runs. In Triple-A, he hit 9 home runs in the first 37 games. He's been called up, was hot at first, has settled down. He's around 250 batting average now with a few home runs. I think the club has had to rush him because of injuries to like Lance Berkman, to Matt Carpenter, and other offensive pieces of the St. Louis Cardinals team. But in 2013, expect him to start at first and do extremely well. Matt Adams. Now, if I could put this guy at number 1, I would. I'm a huge fan of Colton Wong. He's a fan favorite. He was in the Quad Cities last year where I live, so I got to see him a lot. I mean, I just love the pick for the Cardinals. He's going to be such a fast path to the major leagues. He was drafted last year with our first-round pick. And, in the Quad Cities, breezes by that, batting over 330. Then now in Double-A, he's a star, batting over 300. Him and Oscar Veras, a huge part of that offense. This will be a second baseman that might actually work out for St. Louis here. Colton Wong with pretty good defense and great offense. Love this guy here at number 4. If you were thinking Carlos Martinez could overtake the number 1 spot, you were very close but a little wrong here. Carlos Martinez will stay at the top 3. At number 3, compared to Pedro Martinez, can reach triple digits, has a fantastic fastball, fantastic changeup to go along with that. Pretty good secondary stuff there for Carlos Martinez. Again, being compared to Pedro Martinez, extremely excited about him as a Cardinal fan. He's ranked 24th overall in baseball. He's had pretty good seasons in the minors so far, has dealt with some injuries, is getting back out there. And again, him and Shelby Miller could play a huge part in the front line rotation, guys, or could be big trade bait for the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, who will be number 1? Will it be the reigning champion, Shelby Miller, for the last few years, or will it be a newcomer? I gotta disappoint some fans, maybe excite others. This was an extremely hard choice for me to make, but I'm moving Shelby Miller from number 1 to number 2. Now, again, I know this guy is a future ace. He has all the tools in the world. He has such a plus fastball. He's been the top prospect for us for years. He needs to work on his secondary stuff, and he's starting to. The club has seen his struggles in AAA and is now not letting him call his own pitches. I think he will improve and adjust to AAA, but he's going 4-6 with a 6 ERA. He's still striking out more than his innings pitch. He's a swing and miss guy, and there's not many guys that come through the Cardinals system and actually stay that way. What the Cardinals do to pitchers is they make him pitch to contact. He's not one of those pitchers. He still can succeed. He's going to be an ace if he can figure it out. I think he will, but for the time being, I have to move him down to 2, Shelby Miller. Now that we know that Shelby Miller will not be number 1 this year in the list, who is? Oscar Taveras. Now, if you haven't heard of him, you definitely need to learn more about him. Coming from the Dominican Republic, the Cardinals signed him. He's hit, just all he's done since he's come up is hit. In the Quad Cities last year, he hit like 370. I was a witness. He almost hit 400 at one point. For a long part of the season, he had a 400 average, actually. Now, in Springfield this year, he's hitting 323, right in the middle of the order. Hit 13 home runs, 47 RBIs, not too many walks, so his on-base percentage would, I'd like to see it be a little higher. Not too many walks, but not too many strikeouts either. This guy does not hit and miss a lot. So again, this guy, I think his patience will develop, his walks will increase, his average will increase. I think this is a perfect guy to put right in the middle of the lineup. He can play right field, has a power potential. I see him in comparison as Andre Ethier, hitting ability-wise and stats for the future. So it's really easy to pick an Andre Ethier number 1 if you think of it like that. But then, who would you rather have, Clayton Kershaw or Andre Ethier? Obviously, I would pick a pitcher over a hitter. But since Shelby Miller is struggling, I have to pick Oscar Taveras here, 19 years old, extremely excited about him. We could see him in the St. Louis Cardinals in a year or two here, a huge prospect. He could debut at 21, and I think he could hit above 300, so someone to be extremely excited about. Now we will look at, since we know the top 10, we'll go over that, we'll review it, and we will look at the most disappointing prospect this year, the most dull prospect this year, and the people who just missed the list. This is a guy who probably should be in the top 10, but has just struggled since being drafted. He's drafted extremely high, a lot of potential here, and just one of those guys who has not figured it out yet. He's been hurt in the past. He's come back, has not figured out it again. So I hope for the best for Seth Blair. We could see him in the top 10 next year. Hopefully he figures it out soon. The most dull prospect award goes to Ryan Jackson. And when I think about it, maybe I'm making the wrong choice here. He almost made the top 15 for me. He was number 15 for a while. Now, Ryan Jackson has done everything the Cardinals have asked. He has fantastic range, great arm, amazing defense, one of the best defenders at shortstop in the minor leagues. His offense has been good too, 300, 280, everywhere has been. But I think that will translate to 260, 270 in the major leagues. Nothing to really be excited about there offensively. Defensively, he'll do everything the Cardinals ask. He'll be a great defensive shortstop. But again, nothing that really stands out offensively. Now, to end today's segment of the top prospects of the St. Louis Cardinals, is I hope you've enjoyed this so far if you're a Cardinals fan. I'm going to list some honorable mentions that literally just missed the list. Now, the pictures of James Ramsey, kind of funny. They said he was kind of like a Tim Tebow guy, and I found a picture of him pointing to the sky. I'm not personally a huge fan of Tim Tebow, but it doesn't matter. This is baseball. If he can play, he can play, and I personally am excited to have James Ramsey on this team. He seems like a very solid offensive guy. Outfield, he can play. I've seen him in a few games for the College World Series. He's hit some nice balls, and hopefully he can take that and be a starter for the St. Louis Cardinals. Some honorable mentions, though, that just missed the list. Brandon Dixon, a left-handed pitcher, very solid pitcher, has done a good job at every level, has come up a few times in the majors, not done a bad job. Another, John Gass, has a lot of potential, and actually in MLB.com, he's listed in the top 10 prospects. Someone who literally just missed the list. Seth Blair, if he can figure it out, but at one point, a lot of upside, and he still has that. Hopefully he can figure it out. Andre Serrano, they signed him, and hopefully they can get him to play. Don't have any stats on him yet, but again, pretty close to getting on the list there with some high upside. Another guy, Michael Blazek, again, another guy who MLB.com had in the top 15, has some potential there, pretty good pitcher, and another one who literally just missed the list. Also, Colin Walsh. I want you guys to hear this if you're still watching this. I should have just put him in the top 15 just to tell you about him, because I don't think a lot of you people know about him. I don't want to say you people. Sorry for saying that. But it came out wrong when I said that. I apologize. But Colin Walsh, he's maybe and probably will hit for the Triple Crown this year. His only competition is Miguel Sano in the home run. I mean, he's pretty much got RBIs. He's pretty close to another guy, actually. He is one above Miguel Sano in home runs, and he's like 50 or 60 points above Miguel Sano in batting average. Actually, he's like 80. I mean, he's hitting like 330 or 340 in the Quad Cities, River Bandits. He's hit 15 home runs, 55 RBIs. He probably will hit for the Triple Crown, which is huge news and represents the Cardinals extremely well. The problem is no one has really heard of this guy. He's been in the Midwest League for a few years now. This year he's broke out, done fantastic. Someone to watch. He's a sleeper candidate. You heard it here first. He could be in the top 10 prospects next year. You've heard it here first. If he has another great year at Springfield, he's going to be considered a top position player prospect for the St. Louis Cardinals. Last but not least, James Ramsey, another guy who just missed the list. Now, originally when I made the list, I had Carson Kelly and Stephen Piscotty actually off the list, and I had Ryan Jackson at number 15, and I had Jordan Swaggerty at number 13. And I want to talk about Jordan Swaggerty here. He would get the top 10. He's going to be a closer probably, and I can't wait till he gets it, but he has Tommy John surgery, and I just couldn't put him on the list. He has a ton of upside, fantastic pitcher. I met him. He's a great guy, and he would be in the top 10 if not the Tommy John surgery. Otherwise, fantastic pitcher. Again, guys, if you're still watching, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video of my top 15 prospects, most disappointing prospect, most dull prospect, and guys who just missed the list. If you have another ranking that you'd like me to consider, just comment below and we can talk about differences we have between our lists. Also, if you want to be on our show, Birds and Bears, message me and we can get you on talking about your favorite team. Thanks.